Although my hearts really do go out to the victims. That fucking difference that makes.
Let's talk about money. You know what money is? It's an illusion foisted upon people, like Dr. Pepper, Coca-Cola and Pepsi Killer. But there's a new illusion called bitcoins. Has anyone ever seen them? You won't see them. They're invisible. They're a form of dealing with drugs. And this is a love poem to the bitcoin. It also ties to the fact that there are now 3D printers that can print guns. You can make your own gun with a 3D printer. Think about poets. It's in our time now. It's happening right now. It's true story, true story. 3D bitcoins. And it's a free poem. Would you give copies while I'm hanging them out so that someone can read along with me? Thank you, Raphael. It's got 2 pages to it. It's a short poem. Grateful. 3D bitcoins. Scarcity creates value. They're not making any land beneath your feet, and it costs the earth to get to the moon, so no moon base. Dollar once had a gold standard. They changed the rules. Now euros and won dispute exchange rates in reality, and Second Life has alternative virtual currencies. You want real? Go and buy a Bitcoin for $200. Create your own contemporary currency. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to propose your poetry as a standard of value tonight. Exchange rate might start like art with the demotic, the argot, and the vernacular, like country music lyrics. It might move on to haiku, worth $1 or $2. Couplets, ditto. Rhyme will cost you more, as you implore all for writings on your Facebook wall. Rhythmic rap, pap, hip-hop and lyrics, all that bring the gold chain, slave, bling, bling more when you score an opera or soundtrack a moving image. Some words are priceless, like gold. Some are sold on Priceline. Bargain basement, idiomatic texts and tweets for our time. Musicians know that glow that comes from illumined visions. Markets know exchange is a prime mechanism. So make your own meaning tonight. Stand on the open mic. See who buys into it. Virtual or real, you can print your own currency in 3D. The only question left is, who believes?
Hello. Just a quick announcement. I just wanted you guys to know that there's Forest Fest going on this coming weekend. Starts on Thursday, the 18th. And I guess it ends Saturday, huh? Sunday, huh? They go, all night on Saturday, so it ends on Sunday. It's in La Mesa. Got Thom is going to be there. Bob Mudd's going to be there. Mike D's going to be there. What are you featuring, Mike? Okay. Well, anyways, if you guys can head out there, it's in La Mesa. It's this coming weekend. It starts on the 18th, which is a Thursday, and it goes on until Sunday morning, which is the 21st. If you can head out there, go ahead. We did catch some news about one of our father figures in the community. He's having triple bypass surgery on the 23rd. So let's all put positive energy into him. Happy Jack. It's a poem for him. Kind of. I already wrote it, but I think it's good to hear. Life. It goes in flux like the moon. The phases we go through in life are much longer than the ever-changing moon. But life, it does change. The good, the bad, it always waxes and wanes like the moon cycles. So hold on. Breathe easy, my friends. Don't let go of the life we all hold so precious in our hands. The bad, it gets better. The bad teaches us valuable lessons so we can survive the good. I know it's hard to see when all the light is gone, but the light will return, so hold on. Love and happiness will be yours. You just hold on. Thank you.
It's okay, I'm gonna sit down because I've been on my feet all afternoon, running around for morons. Yes. Running around by morons, so I'm gonna sit down for a second. I swear that bus driver treated me like I was a freaking earth. Yeah. They can recognize poets. It doesn't matter if your hair is cut short or you got long dreads. It's just our energy. They can tell. They can tell who we are. I'm dead serious. Yeah, it's true. It doesn't matter. You can be conservative as whatever or atheist or whatever. But anyway, whew. Thank you, Austin Poetry Scene, for embracing me. I really appreciate you. I feel good right now because this is my 4th day in a row doing poetry. Yes. Which is ridiculous. So we started Saturday at the English Tea Room, and then we're at Kick Butt Coffee, and then we're at Midland Lace, and now we're at Red River. So it's kind of like a duality within myself. The darkness being my job in my life, and this is my light. So I feel like I can talk to you far away with this. So anyway. I'm going to get into this piece. Let's see what was I going to do. I had it all rehearsed in my mind. That's why I don't like to go up right when I get off the bus, because like I have to decompress from being around that nonsense. Okay, I'll read something. I'll just read an old piece and then I'll come back up with something. How about that? Okay, let's do Silent Mirror. In the shadows shed tears. Tears which will eventually become scars. Fear and fate are constantly at war with each other. The most difficult challenge in life is walking in the darkness all alone. When I walk in realms of the unknown, light and darkness disappear. I'm at the crossroads of darkness and light, crossing over to the other side of fear. The only fear of dying I have is dying inside. And those who say they have no fear of dying have a profound fear of living. Just because you're breathing doesn't mean that you're living. My pen has now replaced my heartbeat. So when my pen runs out of ink, I'll run out of breath. I offer my enemies a knife and a rose, and I arose the victorious one. I hold a pen while my enemies hold a gun. And although I am the one who's feared, who's actually the dangerous one? My anguish is in the chamber, therefore my mind is the loaded gun. As a man, I'm told I'm not supposed to cry, and yet if you cut me, I will bleed. The true heart does not bleed and cannot be broken by anyone. Man believes chaos will lead to his progression, and that peace will lead to his demise. He does not surmise true weakness. It is easier for a man to hide his weaknesses than for him to hide his pain. Man's greatest fear is that he will one day reach a place where he judges himself. The facade of walls is fading, like a brief period before the enigma is formed. In the early morning I mourn because the night's serenity has ceased. And the calamity of cursed days is a beacon for the cry of weary souls, tormented by soulless souls who, if they could, would drain the light from the sun. Subtle chimes sounding, my heart pounding, falling like chocolate waters, filtered like fine aqua sands. The demands of snow-covered fields, darkness consumes. The tide is high across landscapes of blue and green. In the dark realm, tranquil streams of yellow light echo in silence. The green sun and the two blue suns illuminate landscapes of light, and billions of stars are visible in the horizon. I'm staring at an orange mist floating across a purple sky. The red moon appears hollow. The red sun has a sacred glow. Out of the darkness, A silver silhouette walks on moonlit waters, and I can't understand why my heart stopped beating and I stopped loving at the same time. I had to bare my heart to the heartless in order to find my heart. They tell me I'm odd. I suppose it's because the odds are often against me. And if I have to take 2 steps, and the first step I take with uncertainty, and the second step I take with hesitation, how many steps will it take to completely comprehend my situation? There are 4 walls which separate us. However, there's only one wall which divides us. There are 4 roads, enclosed inside of 5 streets, which lead to a place where no man will ever find his sanity. The light shines through the eyes of a blind man. A blind man is blinded by his own arrogance. I'm attempting to attain literary distinction in a society attempting to bring about literary extinction. I attain enlightenment in 11 hours, 22 minutes, and 33 seconds. What if you ask questions? And the answers are actually the questions. Would you then question the answers or answer your own questions? And how do you piece together pieces of a man if all of his pieces have been pieced together by pieces of a piece inside, easily shattered? Solid mirror. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Okay, I feel better now.
I'm just living a normal life. I get a phone call from Ajari today. He's at work, and work is killing him because work, it's what you have to do to get money, and always it's a form of depression because people tend to project upon you all sorts of expectations, like that you're going to not just be there but do things. So I have a choice here. A poem about death or a poem about spring cleaning. Which would you like? Spring cleaning. Okay. Ajari, would you please give everyone a copy so they can make sure, especially those people over there with the cowboy hat over there.
Okay.
Spring cleaning. This is the theme of Austin Rise Roulette that Stephanie came to after I left, so she never heard this, and she's not going to hear it now because she's not here. His eye offended her, so he plucked it out. His hand stole, so he chopped it off. His head had bad thoughts. French solution, decapitation. As practiced via Mexican drug lords dumping heads in sacks by highways, every limb a scarecrow. When organs roiled, replace them. Replace your heart, replace your liver, replace your kidney, replace your face. Haircut solution, burn the village to save the village. Ordeal by fire, dunking popes to see if they were really witches. Burning Bibles and Korans and Beatles LPs. Chop chop goes the execution. We're still spring cleaning with revolutionary zeal. Red brigades, young Nazi popes, KKK, all passionate with fervour. Burn books, destroy that Library of Alexandria, cut school budgets in Texas and libraries and parks and gardens, privatise all public resources for profit, austerity, stoicism, Bacchanalian 60s give way to Thatcher, Redux and 2013, their ghosts still haunt us. Clean out these cockroaches. The other is always our problem. We are the righteous right-wing big business, too big to fail, and we are flailing.
Everybody has to get out of the rush hour energies, that chaotic. Instead of a poem, I'll discuss a little bit of mass consciousness. How we really are all connected, within the grid of Mother Gaia and Mother Earth. So all of our subconscious thoughts, everyone, kind of become one big ball of energy. And unfortunately, a lot of thoughts are on the material plane of low vibration. And that's what makes you feel anxious sometimes. You don't know why you feel so anxious, but it's because of that. If your energy is going with the positive flow of the universe and even the positive flow of the planet, you're going to feel a little weird. Or you're going to feel a little off some days. You don't know why, but that's what it is. It's kind of like Mother Earth is calling, and not everyone is hearing the call. probably millions upon millions of people aren't listening. But revolutions have always occurred with small numbers. You don't need massive armies to achieve a revolution. They say revolutions are with guns and bats and sticks. That's not true. Revolutions are more effective within the mind. Adolf Hitler figured that out. That's why he hunted down the artists first. He didn't. He wasn't killing the muscle heads. He was killing skinny guys with pens, and skinny women with pens. That's who he started off executing first. On that note, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Hopefully I live. Hopefully I can make it through the end of 2013 by making a statement like that. Hey, it's gonna be my 41st birthday in August. Well, in August, but I mean, I'm just grateful that I've lived this long. I'm actually surprised I made it this far. Truthfully, as an artist in this society, it's pretty challenging. You ever feel looked down? Just know you're not alone. We're all struggling with this shit. This society is a cesspool. It really is. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to sound so down and gloomy, but they have been really effing with me today, man. The Matrix has been really effing with me today, so I'm fighting back. But it's just like, I'm a little bitter. Always cool, but I'm a little bitter. I'm not gonna lie. But that's it. That's my poem. And I'll come back and do some more poetry.
I can nostalgically recall the sweeter and more innocent days when I was only a little bitter. Nowadays, I ask myself, when something comes up and I'm kind of freaked out about how it's gonna go, and where most people would say, please God help me, or please God let this happen, or please God whatever, I wonder what in the hell am I supposed to say? Because I can't even begin to pray to anything. I studied religions, a lot of them, very thoroughly. And on the other end of that, I realized unless you can make up one rich people will pay you for, it was a pointless endeavor. I hated money and recognized it as an illusion for a number of years. And once upon a time, I believed people's theory that it cannot buy happiness. Well, what the fuck are you supposed to buy happiness with? Buttons? Clamshells? Of fucking course money can buy happiness. It's the only thing that can buy anything. Whether you call that money gold or silver or francs or which, well, those don't exist anymore, do they? Or euros or yen or dollars. It's the only thing you can buy anything with. Some might then just say happiness cannot be bought. I'm not sure about that one either, because I know I'm damn happier when I'm not broke. So much for that illusion. As far as all of the passionate declarations I still hear, and I remember, you know, I used to be capable of making those. It's an interesting thing to clinically and from a distance, as if it's an outer body experience, watching your passion shrivel up and die is a curious thing. And you always hope it comes back someday, because not having it is really goddamn boring. But you don't know what'll make that happen. What will provoke giving a fuck again? Cataclysm? Then there's that horrible possibility we're heading toward an ice age. Kill me now if that's what's gonna happen. I hate cold. Okay, so I can still feel that kind of passion. But whatever happened to the other side? I don't know. And since I can't help me this week, I'm helping other people as best I can with what petty abilities I've granted. I don't know. I think jadedness and cynicism and stuff were supposed to be the subject here. Loss of passion, increase of bitterness. So I guess I need some more money, because I could really use some fucking happiness right about now.
One reason I like poetry is I don't believe anything anyone says, no matter what they say, including myself. So when anyone says what he says, I have to give the alternative point of view. So this is the alternative point of view. It's called Pahili. And Pahili is the stories behind stories. This is a story older than the stars, and yet it sparkles with a fire as if new for us tonight. As if love must be in disguise, magical and mellifluous, mature in this shape-shifting to engage its mirror reflection in an image of continuous consciousness. Behind all shapes and forms and essence lives an animating spirit that enlivens every moment, and when we act upon this truth, everything changes and nothing will ever be the same again. All songs and dance are predicated upon this connection to the world of unseen forms, aligning with the invisible to make real the unreal, to call out in a canyon and have our own voice returned to us, enriched via your resonance. And we grow via connection to the life force beyond, around and within. We sing because we do not know. We dream to learn the new. And this story is older than the stars. Each life must learn anew, because love is a play of consciousness with familiar figures, Jesus, Rumi, Khalil Gibran, Socrates. Whether we agree with their endings, their existence and stories still thrill us. As right to die clashes with the right to life, suicide, euthanasia, capital punishments, unresolved issues, echoing resonance, the clash of love and hate, peace and war, within bedrooms and hospice, cells and cell phones, arguments, dialogues, conversations, and still we live and die without philosophies. Reconciled enough to justify or rationalize termination of life as deliberate policy. Someone out there will end their life tonight. Someone else will murder in the name of justice. Our choice tonight is to love and to express our only wisdom. And this love is a play of consciousness, best enjoyed when conscious.
Yeah. I'm Scott. So, hey, how's it going? I haven't been to this new venue before. I was at the old one every once in a while. So, I really like the fact that you can stare off into the sunset while you're speaking. So that's pretty cool.
Great.
If you need a currency or some form or trinket or jewel or gem to base a sense of self-worth on, then you have missed the point. The currency we have here in this moment is a backyard full of eyes. They see, and there are ears that hear the bits of gold trinkets that fall to the ground. What could be more current than a poem or a bird flying by? I am not one to write off the reckoning there is with poverty. That is my current world.
but through each one of my fingers and each one of my hands and each one of my intentions is goodwill and caring and compassion, because there is always someone worse off than you are. Let us reach into our spiritual pockets and hand out as much as we possibly can to those around us who also need some peace, some love, just a gold trinket's worth of camaraderie. Thank you.
So, for those of you who just got here, this is Open Mic. We're here every Tuesday from 6 to 9. My name is Stephanie, and I'm your host. We've got 2 other microphones over there if anybody wants to play and sing at the same time, if you have instruments. It's round robin, so get up as you will. We all take turns here. There's no sign-up list. I'm going to read a poem by Christina Rossetti. The name of the poem is called Echo. Come to me in the silence of the night. Come in the speaking silence of a dream. Come with soft, rounded cheeks and eyes as bright as sunlight on a stream. Come back in tears, O memory, hope, love of finished years. O dream, how sweet, too bittersweet, whose wakening should have been in paradise, where souls brimful of love abide and meet, where thirsting, longing eyes watch the slow door that opening, letting in, lets out no more. Yet come to me in dreams that I may live my very life again, though cold and deaf. Come back to me in dreams that I may give pulse for pulse, breath for breath. Speak low, lean low, as long ago, my love, how long ago? Thank you.
Little bitter. Studied religions, wondering about the basis, the foundation of religions, monetary, whereupon they all pass a basket. Wondering how to be happy. Jaded, more bitter, makes more happy. Behind the stories, an essence. They carry the moment of now, echoing the life anew. Right clashes with left alone. Live and die without philosophy. Consciousness alive, in touch with now. Self-worth, eyes that see, ears that hear, goodwill caring, and compassion to hand out. Realizing sharing peace and love here with the mic open enough for 3.
much better. Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's much better. I lost my page. Oh no, I kind of wonder how Obama is gonna speed this one. Yeah, I know these people were destroyed by bombs, but you still gotta give up your guns and your bombs now. Like we have bombs. And, and what trips me out about Obama is that he was speaking change. Let's change. We need to change. I always thought he was talking about the government was gonna change, but throughout his tenure, he was like putting the responsibility on the American people. Oh yeah, we need clean energy, so you gotta get out and ride your damn bikes. I'm like, wow, yeah, you know. And I'm like, wow, what's the purpose? Why do we need the government now? The responsibility falls on us. I mean, what's the purpose now? I mean, we don't need them for money. They don't. The money doesn't come from them. I mean, what is their use now? That's what I'm saying. How? Yeah. And this is something totally different. Yeah. Okay. Ghost. What are ghosts? Some say they are lost souls that have an attachment to this world. Now that attachment can come from many places, but I will only give you two. There's an attachment that comes from a mission unfulfilled. Maybe it was brutally raped or murdered, and it asked good patrons in order to fulfill its mission, so the soul can be at peace. And there's another attachment that comes from an attachment to this physical realm. During this material lifestyle, during this lifespan, it got caught up in the material lifestyle of cars, money, and other materials. As a matter of fact, it got so caught up that as the body died off, the spirit still had that physical attachment without the physical body to indulge those desires, which constantly keeps it pissed off. So the next time you and your mate are getting down in the bedroom and you feel that tingle down your spine, it's a ghost watching over you, wishing he could tap that ass just like you. Then that ghost realized that he has no penis. Ha ha, Casper, you can't tap that ass. So instead of haunting me, why don't you go and rob a bank? Oh, you have no body, so you can't rob a bank. Even if you could rob a bank, you can't even hold the money. And even if you could muster up enough spiritual energy to hold a couple of dollars, what are you gonna buy with it? You can't wear clothing, you can't eat food, you can't really do shit. You wanna watch TV? Here's the remote. Ha ha, you can't touch the remote, so you can't change the channel. Look, it's Kevin Bacon, and he's messing with that one chick. Look closely, Ghost. You can't do that. See, that man is invisible, not dead. He still has a body, and you don't. So you can't screw a thing now. I bet you wish that you can go back to your miserable, wasted life and take the higher path, don't you? Stupid Ghost. You need to get out of here and go back to the astral plane where you really belong.
And I don't have. Does everybody have a guitar cord? I don't. Do you have one at all? Because I.
Thank you. So Mike Stan has some performance anxiety. It's kind of like me. Who all's been to Big Bend National Park? I had a series of musical gigs out in the Big Bend country about a month ago, and while I was on the way out there, I was kind of excited and started writing this song. And when I got back to Austin, I just polished it up. It's called Big Sky Country. West to the big sky country. Lay that pedal down and burn miles away. And when the night throws up the stars and the spears of heaven fall, I'm gonna hang my hat and dream in the big sky country. Wake up to the mountain sunrise. I wanna set my soul on fire in the morning light. Burn away everything that isn't true. Get a fine beat on what I want to do. Keep it on the tried and true. Take the long road one more time. I wanna wake up, I wanna head to the other side of nowhere. Out past the turbines turning in the desert wind. Gonna rattle up all my junk to the back of my pickup truck. Go out and try my luck in the big sky country. Dream of desert angels, spreading sparks of glory leave every campfire light, and whispering you won't find love on a movie screen, but it's all around us, can't you see? In every rock and leaf and living thing. I wanna ride west to the big sky country. I wanna lay that pedal down and burn the miles away. When the night throws up the stars and the spears of heaven fall, I'll hang my hat and dream in the big sky country. Burn away everything that isn't true. Get a fine beat on what I want to do. Keep it on the tried and true. Take the long road one more time. Take the long road into the setting sun. Won't you wish me well? I won't be gone too long. transmission. There's nothing to unplug.
Did you play Railroad Blues in Alpine? Did you play Railroad Blues in Alpine?
I played at Pete's Garden Marathon, La Hija's Resort, and the Hotel Paisano.
Alpine. It really is. I love Alpine. It's a big number.
Good evening. Since the last time I was here, I had an itty bitty accident. And, yeah, it took 16 stitches to close this thing. And, they tell me in the aftermath that, chicks dig scars. You'll get plenty of action. Yeah, right. Furthest thing from my mind right now. And I'm trying to come up with a likely story to explain the scar. Yeah. Look, yeah, so somebody told me it could be a James Bond thing, and I'm thinking, maybe it's, there were 5 of them come to get me that day, and the best of them rode a bicycle with handlebar tassels and a banana seat. It's not quite how it happened, but so anyway, I tried to jot down some of that experience because that's kind of what I do. So this is appropriately called Smackdown. Having beat the rush in and out of folding doors, stonily endured the lemming crush of part-time talk show guests, fry cooks, and drooling basket weavers, business casual automata, the entitled trust fund babies in Salvation Army chic, and idle investigators in blue and badges. Survived the Frogger flow of metal boxes going nowhere fast. I breathlessly found myself a target. A blur of bronze and framework on speeding wheels. Didn't I just leave this party? A dark reaper in silhouette, suddenly there like a drunken fly, and an instant that even now makes my bones collapse and shudder and drown in the grimy seashell roar, burn in the actinic white shower of stars. Too late for oh shit. Now it's oh, as I groped for the pavement, assuring myself I am in fact on terra concreta. A spider monkey out of the tree, and then the blood explodes like a slasher grade squib. A chrysanthemum sprouting from my skull. Athena! I might have crowed in fatherly delight. The whole of my vocabulary reduced to Neanderthalic grunting and a healthy amount of shit. Now picture me stumbling drunkenly in search of towels, water, gauze, ointments, a working phone, an authority figure. I have lost my mind, I ruefully tell myself. Vision whites out, sky crashes down, I'm drenched suddenly in slimy sweat. I retch hot bile into a paper cone, muzzily count fingers, recite my name, identify our commander-in-chief as Bush 44. And I'm whisked away on a rickety flying carpet, screaming and flashing through the traffic madly, and I cringe as we pull into a cool, sterile institute, and all I can think is, this is a crucible, again, and this one may cost me. And that's as far as I got. Yeah, to be continued next week, and I may do a couple more tonight. The floor is open.
I'm glad you lived to write your voice.
Yeah, no kid.
Always take a taxi.
From my head cut. I mean, the guy was on the sidewalk, and he was just plowed right through this crowd of people loading and unloading from the bus. And I see him lining up, like, oh.
Beware of the chair, by the way, guys. It's wet. Still, look. You see underneath the chair, there's a little water spot. You can, when you're sitting in the audience, you can see the water dripping. It's kind of weird.
Our subsequent butts will all dry it off.
Yeah, not mine.
Well, not yours.
Not mine, nope. Alrighty, this coming May 4th at the Baha'i Center, there's expressions. This in May, it's called The Poetry of Music. Host is going to be Thom this time. Magic Jack and Danny McBride are going to be doing some music. There's some of our local musicians and poets that come over here. I don't know any of the PW Covington. I think I know who that is.
He's a PTSD expert vet who helps people with PTSD.
Sounds familiar. Have I met him before? I think I met him before. I think I like that stuff. Yeah. So, May 4th, Expressions at the Baha'i Center, which is on E.M. Franklin. Well, it's a little further north than here. It's at the Baha'i Center, like I said already. Admission is a potluck. Supper, a dish of that, or some cans of food from Poets Pantry. Help out those hungry poets. It's May 4th, that's right. Starts, the doors open at 7 and it starts, the doors open at 6 and it starts at 7. So I haven't been reading any of my poetry this evening. I'll read some later, but I'm going to read 2 poems. They're both pretty short. I think I'll read the second one first. Hold on. This first poem is by William Wordsworth, which was his pen name, right? It was his real name. Who was his real name? I'm thinking of something else. Someone else. Okay. So this is it's untitled, poem by William Wordsworth. She dwelt among the untrodden ways, beside the springs of Dove, a maid whom there were none to praise, and very few to love. A violet by a mossy stone, half hidden from the eye, fair as star when only one is shining in the sky. She lived unknown, and few could know when Lucy ceased to be. But she is in her grave, and oh, the difference to me. Thank you. So another untitled poem by Edna St. Vincent Millay. What lips my lips have kissed, and where and why I've forgotten. And what my arms have lain under my head till morning. But the rain is full of ghosts tonight that tap and sigh upon the glass and listen for reply. And in my heart there stirs a quiet pain for unremembered lads that not again will turn to me at midnight with a cry. Thus in the winter stands the lonely tree, nor what birds have vanished one by one, yet knows its boughs more silent than before. I cannot say what loves have come and gone. I only know that summer sang in me a little while, that in me sings no more. Thank you.
What I'm doing here is painting in mud. It's free. For if you're stuck for paint materials, you go out in the creek and dig up some mud. You can paint anything in mud. It's wonderful to paint on your face. It's good for festivals, and it's all free. It will last a long time if you seal it with a little bit of watered down Elmer's glue. This one's called After the Festival. It's not the most recent one, which some of us are still recovering from, which was wonderful. After the festival, a flurry of grisly wind wisps across the asphalt, coagulating scraps of celebration, as if searching for a meaning. And amid discarded rubbish, it flicks a forgotten receipt into the air, like an afterthought, without comprehension of any significant transaction. Life here was but a stage, yet all the words and music strutted for that brief moment, touched hearts and minds in some manner, and transported molecular messages in the departed wind. To be or to be happy, that is the question.
Today, I spent my time preparing for my imminent demise. I called in this constructive person from Cook Walden Funeral Home, and I asked her, what am I going to do about this immortality? And she said, it costs a lot to die. Can you afford it? I said, not I. I'm going to will my body to the sky. I like the idea of recycling. I recycle my moods and my emotions. I recycle my devotions. So I would really like, if there's an ending to things, it be seen as another beginning. My next life is now. My past lives were yesterday. But I know we can't eat yesterday's breakfast. And people still serve it up saying, hey, this is what you experienced before, have some more. I say, no, I'm on the track of the unknown. Can you send me a poem that would inflame, entice, exhilarate, make nice every impossible conundrum that we actually live through? And she said to me, it looks like you can't afford the services that I'm offering. And I said to her, that was obvious from the beginning. Now let's start the conversation.
Hold on, I'm getting organized over here.
Well, it's my kid's going.
Tighten her up, dude. Tighten her up.
Okay, here we go. My chest is bursting over into rooms full of flowers, irises, daisies, violets. Yet I am out of doors. I have heard snails slide up my bedroom window. And the next morning, when I awoke, they had passed. My, how the light bounces around tonight. It is good, isn't it? Yes, it is so good that flowers spring out of us, and out of them at their roots only more flowers. Yet it cannot be denied that we in fact walk the earth as human beings. Was it not only me that pondered this oddity? Does poem mean something like breath, like fingernail? Does poem mean that you take out of your mouth and lay it on the table like a raw egg? I know, for me at least, it is the commitment to hatchet that matters. I look between my legs, and indeed I am a man. Yet I am constantly feeling as if I push, as if to deliver a child. All the poems that have ever been written are its name. And they are good. They are so good, no matter how they came into the earth. Thank you.
There was room enough and time enough. Yeah. So this is this is what I did the other night at the All Night Thing at Strange Brew. And just do what I do. I just sit down, bash something out, get up and share. Keep it fresh. I called this oysters in the spotlight. I'm just gonna shorten that to oysters. Anyway, watch Big Daddy get up on that. Oyster in the spotlight, circling the chasm that binds us. We are grains and we are immense, magnificent little things. Precious in our cages, singing love songs in coal mines that lead to a molten center. We are one after all. Here in the absence we define, there is presence. It is immediate. It is patient. And it churns and settles here, now, today, tomorrow, next week. Funny, isn't it? Smarmy, pretentious 12-year-olds, superheroes in frayed, dirty costumes, polishing dented and burned armor, sharpen eloquence to bludgeon shadows into shapes to fit into 2-minute slices of eternity. It's too early. Cards burning holes up our sleeves, reaching up and out, raving and craving. You, this crowd, this teeming display case for the mundane, smoldering in places where no one fears to tread. The challenge to break away, ignore the rule of law, become something beyond constraints of gravity and blood, form and feature to the faceless. These are Molotov cocktails, memorials to the unworthy, penthouse forum letters we wrote in high school, laundry lists, manifestos, suicide flowers, feature columns. The facade becomes truth, perfect thing you cannot define. Subterranean rivers you cannot divine. Dangerous, beautiful, alive. And everybody wants to plant their seed. Worship and evolve, by wind and wine dissolve. Watch Big Daddy get up on that.
Painting with mud. Readily available. Throwing mud. Oh, to be young again. Digging up mud. Colors, textures varied. My mom's dear friend went to great lengths to dig up mud. Muds for her were forms of clay. Clay to be molded, clay to be thrown, clay to be patterned, clay to be glazed, clay to be fired. Then clay, once mere mud, to be used daily to hold things. Plates to be passed, dishes to be served. All this began as mud.
This time, you can have the.
No, dude, we're good.
Would you hold so we can hear him? Yeah, we want to hear him. He's good. This one's for you, Ed. Don't go away yet. Okay, you do that. And bring one coffee for me, thanks. Can try. So this is from the Midnight to Dawn that Brian just read from. I'm going to give this to. Well. You've got yours. Exactly. I'm going to give this to Ed because he wasn't there. Night and one moon and so many stars. Each point of light diverse and different divergent orbits, like when she opens her skin, speech and babies cry. He, wounded, comets flash, meteor, sky, flight path, constellations of emotions going through the motions, galaxies of experience compressed and condensed. Full English Cafe, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Each one left auras behind them. Tales of news suspended in the Birdman air. Here is Copernicus, there Laertes, there Polonius, there Carambus, all drinking in midnight breakfasting, feasting on pop corks till 2 a.m. and the hunger hip. For gathering is human. Every circle and ellipsis, every orbit, every song of prayer. Early morning belongs to the moon, to stars, to silence and to borrowed speech. Stone skim surfaces, sinks in depths. We are alive together again, and there is more to know. Myths and legends inform us so. Water is sacred, clear, conscious, blessing and blessed. Earth is sacred, intrinsic and well. Fire has purpose. We must trust in the truth as we learn it. Sometimes the light is slant, so it might enter without burning us. Sometimes fire seems dim in the freeze of others' empowered opinions. Sometimes even earth seems ill with hurricanes, floods and droughts. Sometimes this illusion of aloneness, anomie, alienation, existential dread, forebodings, intuitions, sometimes they are warnings. A mark, a dream, a chance line, hurt in dangling conversation. We turn away, we take a different path today. The road was burning where we left. Dimensions beyond our simple senses catch the net of our attentions. We listen with seashell ears, we hear oceans. Sit on the beaches of eternities. Stop the tides of time. Threads of a garment being woven in time and sacred space. Breath is just the beginning. Stories start when we start to listen. Elders come into this room. Please pay attention. Please pay attention.
When the heat first rose, on into June, and the creek still ran. Down in the canyon, below the thundering cars, clear rainwater filling the cracks and fissures, priming the springs. People in kayaks and tubes, people just swimming and floating in the stream. Braving the rocky run, tumbling over the waterfalls, small but violent with strong waters. I saw one group of young men in tubes, laughing and wild, towing an ice chest, surely full of beer. They tumbled over Cherry Falls. The last man, the one with the chest in tow, capsized in a foaming explosion at the base of the falls. But he came up laughing still, and righted his craft, and secured his cargo, and floated on to join his fellows. July came, Texas heat searing the land, and the creek still flowed, buoyed by rainy days here and there. Finally, in the dead heat of August, the creek stopped. The rain stopped. We walked by dwindling pools, the last water holes, and in every one, 5 we counted in a row, a snake swam. After the fish and water creatures trapped in the drying pools, the long reptiles hunted. Carefully we skirted the edges of pools, watching the snake swim, marveling at all of it. At last, the creek dried to nothing, white rocks like bones showing. Dead for a time, yet full of the promise of life, in the mud and under the stones, sleeping, surviving in the heat somehow, ready to live again when the first cold fronts of fall bring rain to the canyon once more.
Huff, puff, and bluff. North Korea or cats? You got a choice.
Cats.
Ah, I thought so. Here we go.
Cats?
Yeah, cats. Real cats. Come on, bring your guitar up. Cats love guitars. In fact, they're made of cat gut, aren't they?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. So the cat is in the guitar, and you can all do a meow. So feel free to be cats in your own inimitable fashion. This is the roar of cats. It's in tribute to, and quotes, Mike D, who has written the greatest poem about cats that was ever written. It is an extremely amazing poem. I hope you can remember parts of it. I quote him at the end, so here we go. Can someone put a mic up to Thom? So there you go. We want you heard, it's good. Hey! Come on, you cats. That's the way. Meow! 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 You're not speaking cat? Cat laws. Cat claws. 1. Cat can sleep anywhere she chooses. Do not dare disturb cat naps. Number 2. Cat will meow to go outside, then scratch at the door to get back in immediately. Cat 3. Cat will let you know what and when she wishes to eat. Cat 4. Cat preens herself with her tongue constantly. Do not ask what is on her tongue or where it's been, son. Cat 5. Cat will resist a cat collar, then use her tiny bell to give orders. Cats don't need words. They have claws for disobedient subjects. Cat 6. Cats pounce on you at erratic times. Cat 7. Cats know who is allergic to their hair. They're especially attracted to such folk. Cat 8. Cats are territorial. You will hear screeches after midnight every night. Cat 9. Cats admit variety yet are totally predictable in their habits and behavior. Cats rule. You who love your dog must know, according to Mike D, once cats were worshipped and they have never forgotten this. Yeah. Cats.
It's addressed to someone who thought I was going to take his wife away from him. But she left him anyway, so too bad. I met him a week ago and he wasn't very nice to me. I tried to act friendly, so let's hear what I have to say about him. Do I pretend to understand everything that you say? Do I manage to remain unaffected by the angry and manipulative sound of your voice? Judgment expressed as a definitive answer or sentence, grilled on the chair of your limited views, blood boiling and coming out of my nose, muscles tensing up in mechanical spasms. I ask, but I shouldn't have. Fearful men take aloofness for a serious weakness. You won't make any prisoners, this is your attitude. There is no possibility of dialogue. A bad teacher you are, scornful and impatient, deceitful and intolerant. I ask a few other questions. I know it is useless. It is how it feels. It is how it feels. Before one is to be tortured, a game of negotiations is established. And the more you follow what seems to be a hopeful path, the more your pain becomes imminent. I muse inside myself, still hoping for an impossible dialogue with a narrow-minded man. Yes, you have traveled the world, you have seen and experienced a lot. Maybe you have had revelations, short-lived, I guess. When you allow yourself to speak ill in my presence, you simply prove to me a strong lack of reverence, as if you truly had no point of reference, as if the world had left you with nothing but this cruel predisposition, the need to repress the only place you may never have visited, your heart.
Just tuning up, getting ready to back into the runners game. I'm game.
The festival we're going to in a few days' time is at La Mesa, and it's run by one woman called Connie Williams. And for the last 10 years, she's planted trees in West Texas. Now the winds of West Texas blow the trees away. So being Irish, we go and plant more trees. And the winds blow them away, so we plant more trees. The trees are still there. 7 out of 10 have survived because they're planted next to a sewage ditch. So even your most negative opinions can actually make something good happen. But she's a grandmother, and this is about grandmother wisdom. I asked this woman How can you tell the young who don't want to know and are content with consumerism and image? She told me then what she would do. I will take my daughters out of all air-conditioned buildings. I will sit them on the good earth, have them bleed into that earth, so they finally feel their connection to their own earth mother. I will have them take their menses blood, add it with water to the good earth plants and gardens. I will find ways for them to know moon tides and rhythms, attuned to bleeding seasons, and to know their own blood as earth, iron, fire, water, elemental as birth and breathing. We will sit down and listen more than we speak. We will chant and we will sing together. We will turn away, Sam, from televisions to hear and see what's really living. See what grows and links and know it by its secret wisdom. Respect for elders and their inner pilgrim will lead us into journeys that begin as soon as we realize that first blood is for learning. Who wants it? Grandmother, grandmother.
I'll take it. You got it. True story. True story. Beautiful.
One of the themes of grandmothers. Mine is I don't know, being tall. It's weird. It's cool because at work you can reach up and get stuff off shelves. Otherwise, it has a pretty much. But it's pretty cool. On the theme of grandmothers, mine is going to be 95 this year.
Yeah.
Now, I have to ask the men in the, and I mean no disrespect for the ladies, but the men, I've been blessed to have 4 grandmothers.
Four grandmothers? 4 all living?
No, not at this time, but I got to see them. 2 greats and 2 living. That means 1 in each direction. You're protected. It was an honor, and that's why I try to be a mellow, sensitive man to honor those women. And say, well, what is a man? Well, those ladies are so kind to me, and I have 2 of them still alive right now. And the oldest one, she'll turn 95 on July 6th.
July 6th?
She'll
That's my
be-
birthday. My birthday's July 6th.
Get out of here. My grandmother's birthday is July 6th.
Yeah, it's my birthday.
She'll be 95.
I will not be 95, I'll be 35.
Okay. We should play the lottery.
Right?
One of us could win it. You know what? All of us should play it. If we win millions, look, if I win it, I'll share it with all. I'm serious. The number's still low, but that's the truth. She'll be 95. And so, I'm gonna do a little bit of this piece. I'm working on. It's a work in progress called "Heartbeat in a Coma." So let me start there. The blinding light in the darkness was as ominous as emotional bliss. A subtle gaze into the abyss. Undaunting is this restlessness. Weary are the times. Desolate minds. Unrefined eloquence. I realize in this life that we don't actually die. We just continue dreaming. We're all merely echoes of our own imaginations. At times I realize that my heartbeat is in a coma. Who am I to question that which is unreal? This is as far as I got so far. But it will continue. It's a start. That's how I write my poems.
Shooting stars. Convened as humans, 10 to 2. Poems being created along with fire. They're on purpose, creating warnings, igniting thoughts, creating stories in time. One moon, many stars shining. entering orbits, emitting light, at times combined in constellations, where sometimes the orbit is broken and a meteor is born. Untold creation, illuminating the night, full English, a spot I wish I were, just like home, food from the English now, English cats. They sleep as they prefer. They tend to annoy humans. Cats do not obey. Cats like to break silence. Cats, all around, cats. Cats may grace you with their presence, but only if they expect you're going to be annoyed. Cats know they are the top of the food chain. Dogs come when they're called. Cats take a message.
Later, I realized that Sarah Hickman had recorded this song. It's a really beautiful song. It's called Love Is There. Prison cell, love is there. In the soldier's private hell, love is there. For the mother who blessed us, love is there. For the father who left us, love is there. For the battered wife, love is there. For the orphan in the night, love is there. For the homeless in the rain, love is there. In the middle of our pain, love is there. Ooh, yeah. Love is where you are with us now. In the broken places, in the empty spaces, love is there somehow. You guys do kind. Try this. Try this. Well, at least you're going to be hearing the vocals now. Are you going to hear it from the top? In the prison cell, love is there. In the soldier's private hell, love is there. For the mother who blessed us, love is there. And for the father who left us, love is there. For the battered wife, love is there. For the orphan in the night, love is there. For the homeless in the rain, love is there. In the middle of our pain, love is there. Ooh, yeah. Love is where you are. And you are with us now. In the broken places, in the empty spaces, love is there somehow. In a remembered kiss, love is there. In the razor at her wrist, love is there. In the drunkard's dream, love is there. When it's hard to believe, love is there. Yeah. Love is where you are. And you are with us now. In the broken places, in the empty spaces, love is there somehow. So with a little girl dancing, love is there. And with lovers romancing, love is there. With a stillborn in his mother, love is there. When we kill each other, love is there. Yeah. Love is where you are. And you are with us now. In the broken places, in the empty spaces, love is there somehow. In the broken places, in the empty spaces, love is there somehow. Love is there somehow. Yeah, and Grace Pettis was 17 years old when she wrote that song. Is that incredible? Yeah. What a song. Wow.
Bird. Bird. Bird that to me has neither white nor black, but rainbow. If there are numbers we know best, let the one, that's it, let the one and then the infinite come together and flash like light. Fly. Do not dream it, but do it. And the earth is so far below us. That the cities look like star specks. I had a thought the other night. Might have been a night, don't know when it was exactly. Moses might have very well come down from the mountain with tablets in his hand. And for a new age, Armstrong as well came back with rocks in his. Let us align our life with the stars, for what greater law could there be? When we have love, we fly like birds. I forget what this is. Bird. And knowing that we are only one when we are together.
Second there, I'd forgotten you meant Neil.
Lance, oh, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about
just a second.
My mom's mom. Most people who knew her considered her to be hell on wheels. Her wheels were a 55 Chevy. It was unable to go 55, preferring 80 when the speed limit got set at 55. She was wise beyond imagination, but short on patience. She would say, you can say, I choose not to. You can say, I'd rather not. You can even say, hell no. But if you ever say, I can't, you lie. So try anything once. If it kills you the first time, don't try it again. Officially, Sarah died when she fell and broke her hip at the ripe old age of 92. But actually, she lives in my heart and all of those she touched.
It's called Let's Dance. The name of my show will be called Dancing in Iraq, Dancing in Afghanistan, Dancing in Syria, Dancing in Somalia, in Chechnya, in Mali. It's a long title. The candidates will be selected based on these criteria. First, you are someone from the Northern Hemisphere, and your willingness to be exposed at any cost and for any reasons reaches unbearable heights. You want to be invited to and by the party. You want to carry an imaginary silver spoon at the clubs and claim your new identity in the darkness of your lack of authenticity. Dance under a missile-lit sky. Watch the drones film you fry Welcome to your cinema, a violence-oriented theater stage in your honor. Gog and Magog will sing in the background while you must perform before your masters, bowing with such compliance, forgetting about decency. But was there even any compassion in nations built on pillage, murder and slavery? Dance under an hostile sky, see what others see on the other side of the planet. Because of the general indifference, the constant apathy, see it in your neighbor's eyes, in your partner's eyes, in your children's eyes. See how it feels to cry and try to make sense of it all, to discover that after all, this present situation is not as remote as you thought, but so close from home. The Western world suffers from a disease, a double standard, limiting its field of vision. Wake up. It is here now in America. Let's dance.
Yeah. People know her. Anyway. I can do better than this, I actually can. Dachan Pialian. She took me for a madman. She took me for a ride. She took me for a beam of light. But she never took me. Bohemians we, purposeful and bright, unwashed but clean, pure and green as that old beetle hiding under all those decals. We're changing the world with food and love. Hear us shout in the street. See our freak flags made from box lids, the finest that America can make, and that's pride, son. And take your temper and shoe polish splashes of genius home in your minds and your hearts. We chase down futures, barefoot and leather shod. Laugh and breathe in the sacrament on a yellow bus. Scatter down rain-slicked corral streets in that heavy February that haunts us even now. We've known bonfires, ukuleles, and ginger and garlic tea. Worked the kitchen, made your wigwam on Spider Island, dug holes in the earth for tomorrow's feast. Dearest young friend, warrior princess in flowery diadem, gathering rainbows, gathering moments, gathering stars. I can only picture you moving, blur of hair and skirts, on your way to the next open road, to share the love that's already within us, sleeping until you sing it forth for us, to recognize for ourselves. And every time I hold you close, I am grateful. I am renewed. I am amazed. I am happy. I'm a madman forged of light. 多谢了小妹妹，我爱你，我的新的朋友，谢谢你。
The rush to obtain, to refrain from being real, to abort a natural outcome, to dance like a puppet on an empty stage, to look obscene because it is deemed reasonable, to repress a possible peace of mind. Something most will never find, absorbed as they are in the program, asleep, continuously feeding Moloch with their overwhelming fears, their satisfied greed, sticking together in collective cliques, pointing a menacing finger that says you must conform, play by the rules, accept the norm and crawl from morning to night in front of your boss, your wife or husband, your ungrateful kids, your judgmental neighbors. You must agree and pay the fee, mortgage, interest and credit cards, bills adding up as life becomes more bleak, as everyone hides behind pretense, living most with one solution: violence, violence. Society turns children into self-absorbed men and women, bullies in the making, satisfied with the status quo, a corrupted alter ego, less than zero, always willing to push and shove, to comply to unjust laws, and kill the creative spark within, the rush to obtain, to refrain from being real. Believe it, it's a close-out deal.
I wrote this one today, so it's pretty fresh. It's called Don't Let Anyone Rob You of Your Joy. Don't let anyone rob you of your joy. Don't let anyone rob you of your joy, I implore. Don't let anyone rob you of your joy. Envy, jealousy, and self-hatred it be, fueled by fear and racist ghosts bye. Don't let them hear. Try, my dear, save your tears for something worth crying. Don't let anyone rob you of your joy, I implore. Don't let anyone, don't let anyone, don't let anyone, not no one, rob you of your joy.
So, do you believe in a black lesbian mushroom? One may question the shade of black or gray and wonder, can a mushroom develop a sexual preference? Out of a glass prism, living in the present moment, presently wondering, bubbles and tea, are they related somehow? Imagine bubbles that don't pop, encapsulating mystery stuff, floating in a beverage you drink. Openly wondering as you ingest, will this bubble ever pop? Imagining they must, right? Wonder if you drink the stuff, does this create financial bubbles? The ones that make markets crash? Need we confirm, oblige, and drink the beverage, even if it seems so lumpy. But hold tight to your joy. It's yours to have and hold.
I am so happy that Silver Fox is back with us. And do you want to play? Yeah, when you're ready. Okay. And Silver Fox, this one's for you. And I have copies for anyone who would like. And it's totally illegible in the darkness. So here we go, read in the dark. Get your dervish on, get your dervish on. She gonna put on her belly dancing. She gonna go dancing in the rain. She gonna get her spirit back again. She gonna sparkle and shine, she's gonna sparkle and shine. Don't matter if it rain on the outside, her furnace heart stays out on the inside. She'll chant if you can't sing. Why are all those birds bing, 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 bing? Get your belly chakra shining, get your zoom, zoom, zoom in. Here we are again, in a circle, circle smiling. Get your zoom, zoom, zoom on. Welcome back, Silver Fox, yes.
Hello. Just like to remind you guys, every Sunday from 3 to 6 is Hot Mamas.
Yep.
It's hosted by the wonderful Melanie Rose, one of my closest girlfriends ever. Please go out there. I love her. My name is Stephanie. I'm your host. I'm going to read another poem I wrote a couple years ago. Probably 6. I don't even know. I give you a piece of my heart to do with what you will. And maybe one day you can hold the rest of the broken pieces. For now, you get one piece, as all of the others before you, the pieces that they took with them. I'm sorry it's no longer a whole heart, as bits have been chipped away over time and not returned. Thank you.
Yeah! Chip, chip, chipping away.
This is a poem which to me is pretty vital, because a lot of people are very angry, and I don't know why, but I realized then that we all used to love and then it got replaced by anger. So I realized that anger is their form of love. Alright, so I thought I'd do a love poem to their anger. Alright, here we go. Anger is the love of our age. The passion of our days is spent in rage. Anger at war, cruelty, torture, suffering are the blighted indifference. Cool cell phone, ring, 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 ring. At the waist of cynics, pretentious, religious, cowards, quiet poets, Pharisees, Republicans, lost Democrats, and no viable opposition to the death cult. Anger is a red alert for terrorism in Boston, red badge of courage for radioactive soldiers, alertness inspired by Red Bull, Red Bull, Red Bull. Even the drugs are angry drugs. Speed, coke, crack. No green seeded gentle plants here, no natural leaf. More chemical romances, laboratory profit margins, anger at what is and what was lost, anger at the destruction and its cost, anger at the lack of capacity to change, anger at oneself, internalized masochism rituals. Exchange like demonstrators of hate politics, hate speech fiery illuminates like that famous fire at the Reichstag. Anger is the art of our stage. Anger is a slam and skin incisions. Anger tattooed over ex-lovers' names. Anger, hate, violence, blame. Anger is the red-fired fires burning flames. Anger has you and will not change. Anger is your secret name. You burn papers but the trail remains the same. Anger is the love of our age. Anger is the fire next time, the next stage. Red brigades among Armageddon flames. Chinese revolution still under red flags. Volcanoes, bushfires, Vulcan rules again. Burn baby burn to APD shame. Anger in the flames. Anger is the fiery burning way. Anger is the hatred of our own games. Anger is the love of our age. Free poem, who wants it? Angry poem, a love poem to anger, who wants it? Nobody wants it? Nobody wants it. Yes, it does. Who wants it?
Okay, my mentor says there is a Marvin Gaye song called Anger. One more time, anger. When it's flaming hot, burns to the bitter end. Know what I'm talking about? Woo! That song was off of Marvin Gaye's "Here, My Dear." That they only made 12,000 copies of that album. Well, what it was is he was in a divorce with his wife, and the judgment was part of it was he made this album, but it was the most beautiful album he ever made. Anybody ever heard the "Hear My Dear" album by Marvin Gaye? Most people, yeah, exactly. It's so rare. The first song is I Met a Little Girl. Ooh, I met a little girl. Show was fine. Show was fine. Pretty little thing. Just about blew my mind. Boom, 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 boom. Nobody's heard this album. Okay. It was a song Marvin Gaye put called Anger. Look it up. The album is called Here, My Dear. Anna Gordy was his wife, Barry Gordy's sister. See, I was blessed with my father. He used to play it. He was one of the few men that had one of those 12,000 copies. And he used to play it all the time. Right. And there's a song on it called Funky Space Reincarnation, which Jamiroquai acquired. Well, I love Jamiroquai too, but they acquired. I'm just saying, it's so obscure that, you know. But the album was called Here, My Dear. If you listen to Funky Space Reincarnation, light years, interplanetary fun on the get down. Star Wars, interplanetary funk, still getting down. We gon' get married in June. We gon' be getting down on the moon. Star Wars, interplanetary funk, still getting down. That's part of that song. Alright, I guess I'm a poet, so I should get out of music. I delve in between. So let me do a little poem. I'm going to complete Darker Side of Midnight. The light of day serenades the wind. Nightfall stirs the grass. Twilight dwindles. Hope is rekindled. Complacency conjures broken pavement, concrete facades, tumultuous gray moon, stardust coverages, blue moon overtures. I walk in darkness with a blindfold and I realize this pulse, heartbeat, and breath does not determine whether or not I'm alive. In this life, my greatest fear is that I will die with my eyes open and my heart closed. And there are days when I can't avoid the void, which lures my mind into the confines of the pavement's enslavement. I was once lost at the crossroads. I hear rainfall upon streets which weep. Out of the misery, there's a spirit yearning to be free. I died in the fire on the 33rd parallel. Out of the red ashes I prevailed. Eventually, this glass prison which surrounds me will shatter. Fate once appeared to me as a dying man, aging in the window of past, fusing futures confusing to those who don't know how to live in the present moment. I would rather live in the present moment than die planning for a future which might not happen. These corporate warlocks. Too many long stars. I'm sorry, man. So, I know. These corporate warlocks make profits off incarcerating prophets. I'll finish it, but this is my last one for tonight because I'm tipsy. But at least I'm honest.
I'll be very quick. I just wanted to let him know, at the festival he asked me to be a mentor. Now I've had mentors. Mentors are people who take responsibility for being an example. Good one, Mike D.
I know, man.
I know, you're part of the earth, baby. So I just wanted to affirm those people who are looking for mentors and are being mentors, which is every one of you. You're Silver Fox, you're an example to everyone of bravery, love, harmony, and creativity, constant positivity, and above all, no one can ever steal your joy because you're surrounded by it and beaming at all times. I was in Norway. I went to this art gallery in Oslo. Yoko Ono had an art exhibition there, and there was John Lennon's bronze glasses. But the most important thing was the reason he loved her. He was in Dyker Gallery in London. He looked up through a telescope, and on the ceiling it said yes. He realized then he would sleep with this woman. She had a chess set in Oslo. It was part of the Star Peace Project, an antidote to Star Wars. But the chess set had two sides, and both of them were white. You can't fight if you're part of the bowl of light. Now the old world wants to divide and make us all dualistic, so we are afraid of the other and always resolve from it, but we are beyond the point of alienation. We are the future nation, which is one nation breathing under air. When Jimi Hendrix died in that ambulance, I threw away all of Jimi Hendrix records. My point of view is, you got to be living to be alive. Dead don't cut it, just survive. I even went to Jim Morrison's grave, where there's a party all night in Pierre Lachaise. Point of this is that your life is a point of light. You don't have to have people falling on their feet and pilgrimaging to you, saying, I am less than you, and always bowing down to you. It's parallel paths towards infinities, two dolphins swimming in the deepest sea. Here we are and here we be. Whales can hear it. Dolphins can sing it. Just be happy. Sex and play, sex and play. Out there looking for examples. Everybody's looking up at constellations. What do they see? Some see Star Wars, some see Star Unity. It's your projection upon the screen of your undreaming. If ever we awake from this 3D dream, we will find ourselves being simple human beings. Every single day, the two roads diverge in the woods. And we'll take the road less traveled, Ed, and you know it's good. Now I know a bus is coming just to take you away, but I invite you up to the open mic to say that last poem in your bag, to share with these you're dreaming. The buses are coming. 'Cause unless we hear each other, what hope for future sister and brother? I'm listening, I'm listening. Here's Ed.
Gotta love to observe those who show anger. Sit there and seeing anger making people look silly. Anger is the lack of reason. Love to see anger as it creates weakness. Love to understand how one can turn anger into laughter. Anger creates stupid games like Angry Birds. Anger opens doors to a well-placed hit. Anger is where you want an opponent. Anger is best measure of IQ. This is why a mob fueled by anger acts in such stupidity. To defend against anger, all you need to do is hold up a mirror.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Wow.
Yeah, really, Thom talking about Jimi Hendrix really sparked this little thing, you know. I really don't dwell in conspiracies. That shit, I really don't entertain that shit no more because it'll ruin your life. Yeah. But I still entertain in those music industry conspiracies. Yeah, I still do. Cause it's a lot that's under the scenes that people don't really see. Cause you gotta ask y'all a question, a kind of quiz. Besides being dead, what does Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Notorious B.I.G., Nirvana, Kurt Cobain, not really, Pimp C, Tupac, what did all them have in common? Not really, yeah, but they all died right after they fulfilled their contracts.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, see, cause that's the thing. Cause once you fulfill that contract, you free to do whatever you want to do. You didn't give them the albums that they wanted. Huh?
He changed his name and he wasn't 27.
Yeah. I get the principle. You know, and it's crazy because I know we all heard of Whoopi Goldberg, right? Huh?
Yep.
Yeah, but Whoopi went on the record saying that Oprah Winfrey was eating little babies when they was swimming The Color Purple. And now you ain't heard from Whoopi Goldberg in a minute. She is? Oh, okay. I did not know that. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, this what I was saying. The industry, people don't know the industries, the woes and the evils of the industries, because they think to sell your soul it just means to, okay, they're giving you money, so you gotta do what they say. But it goes deeper than that. Yeah, because me and a poet on watch, we was talking. She like, the game has got progressive, so it's probably room for a gay chick in the community. And I was like, well, you gotta pretend you ain't gay first, because if you go in there being for, they can't use that as a noose around your neck, because they do that. See, that's the whole point of selling the soul. Is not they gonna make sure that you have to go through a ritual that goes everything that you personally believe in. Huh? Yeah, but he had to go through. You seen all the shit Boy George had to go through the media. That is the thing too. The thing is that media, they always